Welcome. So today we're talking about intellectual property and how people can use that in Web3 to create these businesses, create brands, communities, and we're joined with people here that specialize in that. So if we can get a quick introduction from everyone, and real quick, I'm Dan, Full Value Dan, create content that helps onboard retail users and just try to simplify the difficult world of crypto.
Hi everyone, I'm Mandy Liu. So I'm the activation lead at Pudgy Penguins at Igloo APAC. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm LaNieve, the marketing manager of Me48. So, yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura, and after years of working in traditional finance and digital assets in London, I founded my consultancy in Web3 strategy communications and PR, and I'm based in the UAE and in Spain.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandy and I'm from the FreeStyle Classic. I'm the CMO of FreeStyle Classic. I think like a lot of people might know this game before in Web2. It's kind of like already developed for over than 18 years. But right now we just bring this IP into the Web3 and then rebuilding the whole IP construction. And then we want to create our IP ecosystem in Web3 as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's start with some alpha. What exciting things are coming from your companies? What are you excited to work on right now?
Okay, something that we say at Pudgy Penguins is that there's always something happening at Pudgy Penguins. And I think something that we can really share is we are very much focused on, say, for example, Korea and upcoming token 2049 happening in Singapore. And yeah, we do actually have a lot cooking up, and this particular alpha that I would really like to share is we actually have a 2-day event during KBW, and on the second day there will be some kind of surprise, something to do with something that's very loved within Korea, and there will be some kind of performance.
Oh, exciting.
This year is huge for us. On the June, we are listing in the Binance Alpha, Biget, Messi, and Gate. And in the August, we host the first ever Web3 popularity contest in Hong Kong, where fans caused over 70 million idols, both setting a new record in Web3 idol history. So the next one we probably launch the Addition Go and AI GameFi, recent game, build a mass protocol to take a virtual idol creation, voting, and fan engagement to the next level.
Well, in terms of alpha, I could say, I speak for everyone when I say that this is the year of institutional adoption. We can see that the crypto industry is maturing, and that there's a lot of interest and adoption of big institutions, banks, and traditional finance that wasn't there before. That translates into what we see in the mass media science world as good reputation and also good communication. And yes, we're starting to see that thanks to that, the industry is maturing. That in turn translates into having a lot of retail investors coming in as well, a lot of interest, and also an industry that is employing and onboarding the next generation, really.
Okay, so for us, it's like the big alpha. It's, sorry, we just list on the Binance Alpha a couple of weeks ago. So I think that's the alpha, right? That is the real alpha. Actually, we are also thinking about to launch our own NFT series in the next couple months, and then we would like to have more deep collaboration with the Japanese market and the Japanese real IP to build something real, funny, and then, well, the active community in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Now, the topic is IP, intellectual property. So let's just go into what is your company doing with IP and where are you seeing the biggest growth?
Well, I guess something that Pudgy Penguins is always kind of doing is we do have a lot of great content creators, and something that we are proud of, for what they do is they do a lot of different content at different angles. So I think, while Pudgy Penguins as a brand is always trying to give value and provide, up and coming alphas and everything, we think, at the same time, our content creators in our communities is having a lot of that moment themselves to kind of create that moment and kind of create that content themselves. So we do put a lot of emphasis on how we really want to empower our community in terms of where they want to grow. So one example is that we recently also, Pudgy party is a thing. So it's been very phenomenal. Everyone is kind of on their phone. We're on different locations and kind of just playing. And even our team, right? Like something that we kind of do like before the meeting is that sometimes Aaron and Cheryl will be like, hey, let's do Pudgy party first before anything else. And do know that this is like a crunch period. Like we're on like so many events right now, but that's also something that we do, right? Like we feel like this is part of the community,
Right.
this is part of the culture, and that's something that we do. So yeah, culture, the community, and something that they create would be something we focus on.
And for those that aren't familiar, Pudgy Party is a mobile game that launched very recently that is getting a lot of positive feedback. LaNieve, can you talk about Meet 48 and what you guys are doing with IP?
We use the AI UGC platform like Me48.ai and Mods Protocol to create and group the idol IP. Continue in the legacy of the group like SNH48 while building a new virtual brand. Our 5 idol groups even ranked fourth in WIPA, proving that AI idols can compete alongside real ones. We show like a AI Showbug, Idol GPT, and SMR Builder. We are making licensed and fan-created content more dynamic and giving fans a new way to identify with their idols.
Right. So talking about the narrative as well here, we always talk about the communities behind the protocols, and this is a very important part of the Web3 world. But at the same time, I want to go a bit back and talk about shaping the narrative altogether in the first place, because most of the times we have founders that come to us with incredible technology, but they don't know how this translates into a good communication strategy. And in turn, we have developers that don't know how to adopt this technology or build on top of it, like builders that, because they don't perceive it as something that they could integrate, most important parts is like integrating technologies together, then that is one of the main challenges that they face. So we help these founders get the word out and shaping that messaging architecture in the first place.
Okay, so actually I have a lot of things I want to talk about this topic here. Actually, I think for FreeStyle Classic, there's no any denying that. We already we got a really huge successful in Web2 already. Like over 15 years, the whole gaming have a really huge and solid community in the gaming field. Well, let's switch to the Web3 part. It's like, how can make this old IP to rebrand and renovate it in the Web3 world? So that's a reason why, without any promotion right now, we just launched the token first. Because I feel like token access is quite huge, really important to be the identification for the whole project. So when people come over to talk with you, say, hey, what's your project? And what are you doing? So let's say, okay, you just open the exchange page and then just check the token first. And then they will have more interest in, because I think the majority of the target audience in the whole industry is still the trader. But in the other part is after we launch the token, after we maintain a really good price of the token, then we will start to build the real community. And then we will hide up the boundary of entering the community rather than just let the random people rush in and then just randomly just maintains the whole community. So I think for Web3 is we want to build a community not only just focusing on the trading, but also let it make more fun and then more interesting. and also showed some attitude about the rebel, show the Gen Z's attitude as well. So that's the reason why we are also doing the worldwide tour all over the world. Yeah, thank you.
Well said. Now, community is the heart of every crypto project because without community, you don't amplify your messaging, it's harder to grow, it's harder to get attention. Now, Pudgy Penguins is one of the most recognizable IPs out there. What's the secret sauce? How did you guys do that? How do you maintain to keep growing such an amazing community?
I actually don't have the answer to that because I feel like a lot of times it's really the brand is kind of flowing with the community. And a lot of times we find ourselves, even though we have different timelines and different important things to do, it's really about social listening. So we are putting a lot of emphasis on X, on Instagram, and all of that social platforms to really listen to what community is really attracted to and what they're actually posting. So a lot of our strategy is very focused on what they really care about, and then we kind of re-strategize based on what we have on the table to really fit the community need and want. So yeah, I would say that would be, some a type of strategy that we always try to incorporate is that whatever community likes and whatever community attracted to, we will make that part of our strategy to also make them happy.
Awesome. Now, on the other side of that, Laura, when it comes to the right messaging for some of these brands, what things have you seen get traction?
Interesting. So in the first place, Pudgy Penguins is a great example of a community, and they're very personable as a brand. So I think it resonates with many people, and that's helped like foster the community. One thing that we have observed in terms of shaping this is that I would say social media platforms are like the megaphone, but reputation is the echo that lasts. So that reputation is important on a long-term basis because people want to believe in a project that has legs and that is going to be the longer term, really. So to be incentivized and to be part of the platform, et cetera, et cetera. And so the longevity is important, and we help in that because we try to create that trust and that aura of both the founder and the company. And in this case, what we have seen very often is that when, say, a community is doing a KOL strategy, the KOLs themselves, they don't engage in the strategy before there's media presence. Media presence is important because you can see that it's not only you banging your own drum, but it's rather someone else saying that you're actually great, that you're good, that there's social proof in being on media, right? So this is what we try to achieve and try to create a very trustworthy image, as well as having the founder be as transparent as possible and manage his communications the best way we can, really.
Right. Founder-led marketing is pretty massive and creating that organic community. Now, LaNieve, how does Meet48 use crypto to engage with their users?
Idol is core of our fan economics. So fans can use token to buy our NFT to voting tickets and take part idol ranks in transparent, decentralized way. So in WIPA, over 78 million idols votes show how fans can drive both AI and the real one. So multiplier and addition go add more GameFi milestone, add more token burns, making engagement to fans and more fun and rewarding.
Now, Sandy, when it comes to IP and growing the brand, what has FreeStyle Classic found successful?
Well, I think FreeStyle got quite a lot of attention from the marketing. The quite successful is the points that Laura already mentioned about that. Actually, it's the find the right person in the local market, kind of like the lead of the KOL, and then just got the deep conversation and deep collaboration with them first, and then do the localization stuff in the local market. For example, we do have some deep conversation with Web3 Honey, and then she's quite top KOL in the Japan. So that's a reason why I will have some confidence to enter the Japanese market. And when we host event in Tokyo, well, definitely for the Japanese market, people's type is kind of like they don't want to show up in kind of like offline events. They are quite shy or something. But for Honey's power, she can help me to invite a lot of the target audience in the marketing, and that they have a lot of followers, fans. So I don't have to directly talk to their like those followers one by one. I just need to talk to the lead of the KOL or lead of the community. Let them know that, and then they will spread all the things to his community or her community. And secondly, it's more like in Taiwan, we do have a really deep collaboration with JoJo. In Korean, we do have a deep collaboration with Cherry Coco. I think the key of the successful of the project right now is you need to find the right person who can represent you, and then to let the whole market to knows you. Yeah, thank you.
So when it comes to brands finding these people to help amplify the messaging, what do you guys look for? Like, what do you look for in these bright people to amplify that? That's, if you can continue, Sandy.
Me again?
Yes.
We are looking for, I would still say that looking for the target audience, the real users, rather than, sorry, I don't want to say that, but rather than the farmer,
Right.
or those like just do the mining and then they just gone. I want to find some like the real diamond people. Oh, one thing I want to share that when I was in the previous company, I don't want to say the name, but it was the top GameFi project. And then during that time, there one thing is quite surprised me is like when our token crashed down and an NFT price crashed down also, the Japanese community members, they just do the second creation continent, kind of like draw some picture and then to encourage us, say, hey, don't give up. We are here. We will be your backup. We know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So that is kind of like the real supporter, real user who will just growing up with the project. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, thank you.
Now, Laura, I'm sure you work with a lot of founders that have trouble tweeting because they don't want to do it, and I get that, right? So how do you inspire founder-led marketing?
Wow, that's a really good question, even for myself. So basically, we train the founders, we help them, and the most important thing is that sometimes like some egos, some founders, as you might know, have a bit of a stronger ego, which is part of their drive and why they're so driven with their projects in the first place. But that doesn't translate very well on Twitter and with Twitter communities. So sometimes instead of being very incendiary, we try to tone down the way they communicate, or we train them to say, well, you can't say this, but maybe you shouldn't, So we try to make them think twice before tweeting, and we've seen, especially in crypto, many founders that have tweeted something that they had to revoke. Mm-hmm. So I would say prevention is very important. So we try to prevent that from happening in the first place. But as you guys know, and that's why I have a job, there's a reputation management. We help founders with all this, really.
Can you share any interesting stories where they might have messed up?
Oh wow, God. That's a tricky question, Laura.
Yeah, so I have seen a founder that tweeted. I mean, he's really public, so I can't really say, but this is on Twitter. Who tweeted once something that would be considered as maybe classist or racist, and the whole team was scrambling, really. And then he revoked that comment, and I was like, oh my God, I really do not want to be part of their PR team. That sounds like a nightmare, really. But at the same time, managing this communications crisis, as Benzo from Bybit did when the hack happened, that is something that is magnificent. If you get to see a really good practice of public relations, it's one of the best things that one can observe. Because Ben, what he did is he went live, despite all the efforts of his communications team, 30 minutes after the hack happened, and he just clarified everything. So that is obviously very enhancing of a trustworthy image, I would say.
Okay, extreme challenge. How would you save FTX?
Oh my God.
Well, that'd be an expensive account, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. So also between the PR teams and the legal teams, there's lots of communication about what can be said and what can't be said, obviously. But in the team, in the sense of FTX, the problem was that even the founders team or like the insider team like wasn't really either on board or like wasn't really aware of what was going on around them. So I think that the problem in the first place is the founder himself rather than the rest of the team. Really, I do know people. There's a really good podcast called The Breakdown. By NLW, and Nathaniel Whittemore, who's NLW, he used to work for FTX. He did know nothing, and he's a very reputable person, and I can only recommend his podcast.
All right, so if you guys do anything crazy, maybe reach out to Laura and she'll give you some advice. LaNieve, so with Meet 48 in AI idols, how do idols get attention? I'm sorry, this was not I know you asked for like certain questions in advance, but we're having this conversation. So if you can talk to how any of these idols get attention and stand out.
Attention stand out. I think we are trying to the fan economy to the whole ecosystem. So we use the token, and token can directly to back to the idol. So they have more engagement to join the whole program and more. Sure, yes.
To continue growing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Now, Mandy, Pudgy Penguins, the most recognizable brand, and you guys have managed to bridge Web 2 and Web 3 with royalties and real-world products. Can you talk about how you guys were able to make that bridge, how you guys were able to take that risk, and how it's doing now?
I think a lot of times the strategy, we do feel that, so I kind of started out, about 4 years ago, and that was when the NFT boom was there. So everyone was kind of very focused on the new technology that we've never heard of, the new kind of thing that we're into. And that strong emphasis, I feel like, kind of shifted to now where Pudgy Penguins is really about, hey, what do you think of this toy? If you like this toy, take it. But there's also going to be a QR code on it, so if you scan it, right away you get an NFT. You don't have to know what this is about, but later on we're going to unlock it for you, maybe in different platforms, maybe in an online game. Feel free to use it. And same goes for Pudgy Party, right? Like, it's a game. And I know there's going to be some kind of unlocking maybe, afterwards, but
Alpha.
so I think a lot of times it feels like a Trojan horse kind of in a way that you don't frighten the community, don't frighten the Web2 community with jargons they cannot understand, with things they cannot understand. Use it in a way that, use the narrative in a way that people can understand. Toys,
Right.
games that you relate to.
Now, I'm sure people are familiar with Pudgy Penguins, but maybe they're not familiar with the royalties, maybe they're not familiar with how NFT owners can turn their NFTs into real-world products when those opportunities open up within Pudgy Penguins. Can you speak about that a little bit?
I mean, it's always a ongoing kind of education that we're all trying to, kind of churn and then kind of trying to have different angles to that. But yeah, I would say it's like an ongoing process of having that communication, having that kind of education around it, because I feel like Web3 is still a very small market in my personal opinion, and we're still trying to onboard more and more Web2 people. So yeah, I would say this is like an ongoing education. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of onboarding Web2, what are each of you doing to start branching out and attracting that audience? Let's start with Sandy.
Yeah, I think I'm quite agree with what Mandy said. Merchandise might be a really good thing. Pudgy Penguin develop their toys, so everyone will use the toys as a decoration. Yesterday I just host my private event, and I just bring 2 limited edition Labubu. to the event, and everyone was like so crazy about that. Everyone just into it. So I think another way to onboarding the real users from Web2 is like make an icon of your project. Make people like can remember you in just one sentence, and or even though you create some merchandise, no matter what it is, when people see that, okay, they will think about you. So I think that will be another part of the key successful. Yeah, on the onboarding. Thank you.
Merchandise, definitely. Now, Laura, I know maybe not necessarily merchandise, but I know people are trying to grow. They're trying to branch into like LinkedIn and amplify all their messaging. What's working for founders? What is Conquista PR helping them do?
Right, interesting. So we do strategies that are based on thought leadership. So now that thought leadership is based on the profile raising of both the founder and the company. And to do profile raising of a founder, people need to know who he is in the first place and how he thinks and why he thinks in a certain way. So what we do is we do opinion pieces together with them. And then we also connect them with media so that they can share insights, because most of the times reporters, journalists, they're looking for insights in order to build up their pieces. So I think it's very useful. And I see us as opportunity hunters in a way, where like we cross opportunities from journalists and we funnel those like to the founders. And then what happens is that the coverage of a certain journalist ends up containing quotes from our founders, etc. And that is something that is immensely valuable. Because having that thought leadership part gives a lot of authority to a founder in the first place. And I had a question for you, Dan.
Yes, sure.
Feedback.
How do you choose the projects that you work with and create content for?
Right. So I'd like to work with projects that I would use their actual products. The ones that really reach out the most and pay the most, I don't work with because they might not be here a year from now. So I really look out for the retail user because, you know, if it's not something I believe in, that's not something I want them exposed to.
Interesting.
Now, LaNieve, so with the Web3 products, what's the secret to success to building a Web3 product where maybe some have failed?
Sorry?
Oh, what is the single most important ingredient for a Web3 entertainment project to succeed where so many others have failed?
I know it's our core of our fan economy. It's all about two things. So great content and decentralized interaction. We combine the familiar fan culture of SNF48 with innovative AI UGC content. So it feels both fresh and cherished memories. On the top of that, the ICO ecosystem talk governance, NFTs, and voting. Let fans co-create with idol instead of consuming passively. Yes.
Now, Mandy, we're going to all talk about like what is your current role and where do you think you'll be next year?
So my current role is the activation lead within the APAC area, and what I essentially do is I do a lot of event planning and making sure that Pudgy Penguins, you know, as a brand is very on brand during the events, and that's something we see a very strong importance of. And two is sometimes we work with different parties and different brands. So trying to pick out that synergy and trying to see where that connection comes from. So we do have a lot of requests and a lot of invitation in terms of, hey, we want to do something with Pudgy together, you know, could we do this together? And a lot of times it doesn't mean we always work with the biggest brands or the biggest names that you might have heard of. A lot of times it's more about something that we always ask in the first calls would be, what would your goals be? Is it exposure to you? Is it brand awareness? Is it something else? What do you care about? And if this is something that Pudgy Penguins as a brand can bring to you and that we have a synergy in terms of different themes, That's also something that we care about, right? Like during events, there's always going to be a different kind of theme.
Now, that's a good situation to be in. How can other brands be in that situation where they get invited to parties, where they can really take their pick?
Take their pick. I think, you know, a lot of times it just comes to synergies. A lot of times it's really about whether in that first and second initial call, do you have that? So a lot of times it kind of goes both ways. A lot of times you might have think, you know, people are coming to us in different pitch and all of that, but a lot of times it's us. It's us trying to initiate different ideas. Hey, we actually have this going on, you know, are you interested in this? They might bring out something else on the table, but we sometimes be like, this is something we're gonna do, maybe not for this event, maybe not for this date, but maybe for another event. Would you be interested in this? Because we feel like this would resonate to your brand more. Yeah.
Amazing. 'Cause if you go to any crypto conference, there's always going to be an amazing Pudgy event as a side event, so look out for those. LaNieve, can you talk about your role as a marketer and where you think you'll be next year?
We have been focused on the AI addiction goal, the power of AI gains, and launch for it to combine the mass protocol tokens. So you can use the token to the GameFi, and you can use the token to creation your own idol. So people then trade their own coin. Yes. So this is next year we are target. Yes. Thank you.
Laura, so you are the founder and CEO of Conquista PR. Where do you think you are now as a founder, and where do you think you'll be next year?
Now here in Taipei, we have hired recently one more team member. So we're 4 people in the company. We're relatively young. Used to be me as a freelancer, and we in a year time, I think we're gonna be a team of around 20 people. And we're also going to be traveling and helping founders get their word out there. Because what I wanted to say in terms of networking earlier, as a complement to what you guys said, is that it is like the value of networking is huge. We are in an industry that is super heavily relationship based, and never underestimate the power of connecting with other people. And also being very reciprocal. So like when you invite people to things, they invite you back, and just being kind and like trustworthy, it goes a very long way.
Absolutely. That really is the key to success, networking, creating these connections between different people. Sandy, as CMO of FreeStyle Classic, where do you think you are now? Where do you think you'll be next year?
Well, I already am CMO. So what do you think that I'm gonna be next?
Bigger CMO, senior CMO.
Oh, well, I think in Web3, title is not important. Role is not that important. You can, even though you are just like employee, you can still create a lot of huge and grateful things. So I think the more important is about what you can contribute to your project, or even though the whole industry. I think that would be more careful, more important. And for me, actually, I'm not just only the CMO of FreeStyle. I still have my own platform. It's called Event3, because I already host over than 30 events globally. So I want to also build my own platform. So yeah, I already be the founder. So next role, I think I would like to be more contributor to the whole industry, to bring the real valuable things to here. Thank you.
Amazing. So we have 30 seconds left. What socials can people find you on? Mandy.
It's Moonryu, MOONRYU_.
It's Twitter, LANIEVE1. Yes.
I'd say both on Twitter and LinkedIn is my name up there, and then I Miss Blitz as well.
For me, it's like 0x Sandy on Twitter. I know it's old-fashioned, right? 0x
It works.
blah, blah, blah.
It works. And for me, Full Value Dan. And that's our time. Thank you.